I was a virgin until I was 20 and I absolutely hated it. Now my body count is over 100. Nah, I'm kidding. Psych! But I did have some lovely experiences with girls by now. And hi, if you're new to this channel, my name is David. And on this channel, I'm the older brother that young Asian man never had. So 2 days ago, I met one of my old classmates. She was one of the most popular girls in our entire school. I can tell you, literally every dude at some point had a crush on this girl, including me. And we had a quick chat, talked about what's going on in our lives. She told me that she saw my Instagram page blowing up and was really intrigued in me as a person. In the end, she even told me how much I changed since our high school time 6 years ago. And it's crazy to me because it wasn't always like this. Because I remember in high school, she wouldn't even pay attention to me. I was this shy, nerdy Asian kid. I had massive acne all over my face and really skinny. Now, I did have some friends, but I always felt like I had to prove my worth to the entire friend group. There were countless times where I had to endure some racist comments or some jokes on my behalf. And whenever I heard some of these jokes, I always kind of played it off, laughed about it, but deep down I knew I really hated it. But the truth is, I was just afraid of confrontation. I wasn't as tall as my German friends, and I was also very skinny. In class, I barely interacted with any teacher and always made myself very small and as unnoticeable as possible so that they wouldn't call me and ask me some stupid questions. I feel like girls could smell my insecurities and my low status. So throughout my high school years, I never had a girlfriend, I never kissed a girl, never hold hands, and yeah, obviously I never slept with a girl before. But I desperately wanted to feel loved for once. I desperately wanted to have this experience with a girl just like all my friends around me. And my kind of autistic strategy for that was to just text my crush, because texting seemed a lot less scary than actually approaching her in class and risking that I get rejected by her in front of everyone. The entire school would make fun of me. But the weird thing was, whenever I met her in school, I was so afraid that I didn't even hold eye contact with her. I didn't talk to her. I just straight up ignored her, walked past her, and out of the girl's perspective, it was kind of weird, because the other day I was just texting her the entire day, and then whenever I meet her in school, I would just like not talk to her at all, and it just made it very awkward and weird. I actually wanted to come across as like Sasuke from Naruto. If you have watched that anime, he's very mysterious, but for Sasuke it kind of works. He doesn't talk to any girls, but all the girls are coming to him. That's probably because he's handsome as fuck. I thought that strategy would work for me, but it didn't, unfortunately. So secretly, whenever I had the chance, I would take a peek at her, look at her very briefly, and when she would turn her head and look at me, I would just like awkwardly look away again, if that makes sense. Now that I actually think about it, it actually makes me cringe a lot. I basically put myself down, felt inferior, and put girls on a pedestal. The worst thing is that all of my friends were having the first times, the first girlfriend, the first kisses, first time holding hands. I think the one thing that annoyed me the most was that one of my other friends, who in my mind back then was not even as attractive as me, even that guy got a first kiss and his first time having like sex, right? That hurt my fragile ego so bad, even back then. I know it sounds toxic, but that's just what I thought in that moment and how I felt. The truth is, I felt very inferior to my friends. And I think the huge problem for us Asian guys is that we already have it hard enough. Like, there's so many prejudices against Asian guys, and especially young Asian guys in general. People say we're not as masculine as other ethnicities, we have a small pee-pee, and the only thing we're good at is like math or something. So for the longest time, all of these negative things, my experiences and my self-image didn't make me feel satisfied at all, and I kind of felt hatred towards myself. My only hope back then was that high school should finally end, and when I graduate high school and go to uni, go to law school, everything would change, right? Wrong. I was still skinny, I didn't have any social skills, didn't have any girlfriends, didn't get any kiss, no holding hands, and I still didn't lose my virginity. Because the truth is, I was still that same guy. But I did what probably every guy at some point did, and I just went on YouTube and looked for a solution. I remember literally typing in how to become a more attractive man or something like that. And I watched all of these videos of these high value guys. This entire self-improvement did something to my brain. It kind of gave me hope, because all of these Chad looking dudes on YouTube had a similar experience like me. They started off as complete losers, and then eventually, after years of working on themselves, they turned into that attractive guy. So what I did is I started to hit the gym. I mainly did a lot of calisthenics, you know, like pull-ups, push-ups, eventually muscle-ups, whatsoever, and I gained some muscle mass. I also tried to get rid of my acne. At first I used like skincare products, but it didn't help because I had really bad acne. So at some point I even had to take Accutane, which is like a medicine to cure the acne, which reduces the oil production and so forth. And after like a year of doing that, of going consistently to the gym, taking care of my nutrition, clearing my acne, I looked in the mirror. I was feeling something that I've never felt felt before. Pride. I was actually proud of the way I was improving, of the way I was looking. Now I look a little bit more attractive than 1 year ago. So I'm telling you, looks maxing is so real. Whoever says, oh, looks don't matter, only matters is personality, that's bullshit, bro. That's crap. They're straight up lying to you. I'm not saying that personality doesn't matter. It obviously does. But if you're meeting a stranger, and especially someone who could potentially become a love partner, then guess what? Looks is the only thing that they get from you in the beginning. Looks is the first thing that will get you a foot into the door. So if you're an Asian guy like my past self, then I tell you, focus on working out first. Build that aesthetic body. But working out in itself is not really hard. Hit the muscles, do the basics first, do a push, pull, leg workout in the beginning, and over time, progressive overload. Try to lift a little bit more weight or more reps the next week. Get enough protein. There's so many tutorials on the internet, and still to this day, I'm watching a lot of fitness influencers on YouTube every single day. What I did after I got a little bit more jacked and more muscles is to work on my social skills. I think these two are the most important thing if you were like me in the past, because although having muscles is a really good first step, it doesn't really help you with your communication skills and your body language in terms of talking strangers and talking to girls. There's so many jacked dudes out there who are terrible with communication, who can't hold eye contact, who are really bad with especially their other gender, right? And I think the number one thing that really helped me skyrocket my progress in talking to strangers, talking to girls, is you just talk to as many girls as you can. Like, I'm not just talking about the girls you have a crush on, right? I literally went out and talked to like all girls that were basically available. I would try to have conversation with them, even if it's just a quick hi or how are you, stuff like that. If I would walk across the street and a female person would come over to me, I would just look at them, smile, and say hi. That's literally it. And in the beginning, it was so awkward for me because I had no social skills whatsoever. But over time, you get more and more used to it. It will get more comfortable. The interesting thing that I realized is that when I'm talking to girls that I'm not interested in at all, I seem to be a lot more smooth and confident because there's no risk for me involved. If they would reject me, I literally wouldn't care because I wasn't interested in them in the first place. And I think we should treat every girl the same. It doesn't matter how beautiful she is, how much of a type she is for you. You should treat every girl the same. Be kind, be a gentleman, be playful with the girl. Girls realize that I don't put them on a pedestal and that I literally treat every girl the same, that I'm always smooth and playful and I enjoy the conversation inherently. And if she rejects me or she's not into me, that's perfectly fine because there are a million other girls that I could potentially talk to. You have to have this kind of abundance mindset. The more I did that, the more date opportunities I had, and eventually I went on my first date with a Spanish girl who was way more experienced than me, and you know how Latinas are. They're very open people and very easy to talk to, which is why I think it was the perfect match for me on my first date to make me feel comfortable. The date turned out great. I could sense that she was interested in me and I wanted to make a move. At that point, I was 20 years old. I never kissed or hold a girl's hand before. So I literally asked her, hey, I'm interested in you. Is it okay if I can kiss you? Like nowadays, I would just go for the kiss, but back then I didn't know how to initiate the kiss, so I just asked her like for permission. Can I kiss you? At that point, since she was interested in me, she literally said, I guess you have to find out. That was the signal I was waiting for. So I just went for it. We had a good like kind of kissing situation. I will not go into the details. I literally remember going home that night and writing my journal. Today's a day to celebrate because you kissed your first girl. And eventually she was the girl I lost my virginity to as well. Honestly, this video was really hard for me to share because it's very personal, but if it can help at least one person in my shoes back then I already consider this video a huge success, and all of this was definitely worth it. Like literally trust me, if you put in the work on your body and then on your social skills, you will be rewarded down the road. Alright, that's it for this video. I'll catch you in my next video. Mad love. Peace out.